Tom, thanks for joining us. Your kicker got his first career AFC Special Teams Player Award this last week, and he had said afterwards that he was kind of driven by not getting the chance to go for the 65-yarder last year, and he's really had an uptick in his placements. And I'm wondering if you could just speak to how he's kind of used that as fuel for his fire a little bit.
I think he's just, when we come out to practice, he wants to finish at 65. He wants to finish 66, And I think it's the right message, because I think when you send a message, you really actually send it to yourself. When any of us speak, we're talking to ourselves. And I think it's great self-talk for him. He wants to go big. He wants to kick from deep. And his Achilles has been plus 50 kicks in his career. And he's attacking it, and we really like it.
I was going to ask one follow-up. He's talked about how he doesn't call himself a kicker. He calls himself an athlete who just happens to be very, very good at kicking. Do you think he brings a little bit of a different mentality to that position than what you've experienced in your career?
You know what? I've been lucky. All the guys that I've had have kind of had that mentality where they see themselves as athletes. Adam Vinatieri, he'll tell you that he's the greatest wrestler in the history of the world. And they that's how they feel. I love that attitude. When I went to Temple and worked Brandon out, we brought him into Indy when he came out, and all they bragged about was when they recruited him, how great a basketball player he was there in Pennsylvania. So I like that part of it. He sees himself as a total athlete. He sees himself, he's got to take care of his whole body. And you see that in what he does out on the field in practice.
Next one, Torrey.
Coach, you've been working a lot with Diontae Spencer. He had a big return last week. Do you see maybe now he's getting comfortable again this year? It's been the burst is there. You see maybe we're going to see maybe more consistency in that now?
Yeah, I think that Spence gets better every single day. I think we all grow. People got to realize, I know he's 27, 28 years old, but he's been in this league for 1 year. And it is a big deal coming from Canada. The rules are so different. And I think he's getting a really good grasp of where he is on the field. And he does. The biggest thing that he wants to do is, we worked a lot on it this week, is he's got to break tackle. He's got to break that one tackle. And he's working through that part, but the decision-making's there, the speed's there, the heart's there. He's a great teammate. Works at it.
Next one, Brandon Cristal.
Coach, back to Brandon. How much can you or Chris or really any coach, and you had Adam all those years, how much can y'all tweak what they do to improve their success? I'm not trying to minimize what y'all do, but how much of it is just little things they do or kind of out of maybe everyone's control except their leg, I guess?
I think that's a great question, B. The big thing is that I've always tried to do is I try to know them better than they know themselves. So with Brandon, for example, there's little coaching points that I just say to him to get him back to being himself. Stay tighter to the ball, this, that, the other when he gets away from it. But no, you don't go try and break him down and reteach him this, that, the other. 90% of it's the mental game. And then when they get out of being themselves, it's our job to get them back to be that kicker, that player.
Next one, Mike Liss.
Yeah, Coach, did you agree with the penalty on Joe Jones over the long snapper last week?
Yes.
Okay, he just got too much.
Yeah, he didn't get enough depth coming across the on the cross there. It's 100% on Joe.
Next one, Zach Stevens.
Hey, Coach, you said McManus likes to end practice with 65, 66-yard field goals. What are you comfortable at with his range?
It's whatever Vic and him decide, to be honest with you. That's where it's always going to come from. It comes from Brandon, number one, pregame, tells us where it is, the limit is. And you get in situations, to be honest with you, Zach, where sometimes you got to go long, in games, longer than maybe even what he thought in the first half. Sometimes guys are afraid to go with the 56-yarder and this, that, the other. But it's more of the feel for the game and where we're at in that game. But that I always go to Vic. And before we do that, we always go to Brandon. I'm not going to be that guy that says it's my decision, and it's not. I know where I'm at on this totem pole, and that's where it should be.
Next one, Eric Delala.
Coach, I'd imagine this is one of the stranger weeks in your coaching career with the day of the game being up in the air for a while. How have you seen Vic and the guys kind of handle the uncertainty around the building this week?
To be honest with you, I think everybody's treated it great. They didn't handle the uncertainty. They just said, hey, look, whenever we play, we play. we're going to be ready. And I think our teams, had that mindset and will continue that mindset all the way through. It's uncontrollable. We're fighting a disease that we can't see. It's like covering a kick, with an invisible returner. Eventually that returner is going to score and he's going to get somebody, and it's one of those deals when you're invisible, you can't control it. And we're not going to let it hijack, our emotions. We're not going to let it hijack anything we do. We're going to go out and play. And that's how our head coach acts, and that's how our team acts, and that's how we'll react, in my opinion.
Guys, time for a few more. Next one, Andrew Mason.
At the quarter pole, Sam Martin, he's been your punter now for the first 4 games. What have you seen from him? What more do you want to see from him?
I think the directional's there, Mace. The big thing is he's hitting the edges. We just got to get more hang. If there's one thing that Sam would walk in here and say, he wants to work his tail off on that hang time. And that's really the biggest thing we've been working on. Done a nice job hitting the edges. He gives us, you don't know which way he's going to punt the ball, so it makes it hard on a returner, and he's proven that he can do that for us. And to me, that's the biggest thing that you got to get out of your punter is you can't line up and say, hey, we're going to punt over here. They can scheme it. There's good coaches everywhere. Patriots will hit us if we don't disguise that.
Final one, Brandon. Brandon, your line's unmuted.
No, there we go. Sorry, I was hitting the wrong button. Kind of similarly to the question I asked about Brandon, because obviously Mace just asked about Sam. Do you coach up a punter a little more, only because they have sort of targets to hit versus a kicker's pretty straightforward, at least in terms of field goal kicking. You're obviously kicking it through the uprights versus what you're trying to execute in a given situation with a punter?
No, I think the biggest thing is with the punter, it has to start pre-snap to win post-snap. So, defenses disguise what they're going to do. They don't show cover 2 and scream across that they're going to do that. We got to put him in position to punt the ball to the right and to punt the ball to the left pre-snap. And that's the biggest thing that I have to make sure I'm on him, because everybody focuses on the post-snap result. And so the pre-snap alignments, things like that, that's what gets somebody in trouble, because you win with pre-snap leverage with how your body starts. And then that way, that's going to be how your body finishes. But in terms of his ability to punt the ball directionally, a lot of it is just your drop. If you can get the laces out, the ball's actually moving outside, so the ball's going to stay on an edge. You'll see guys drop a ball, and the laces are coming in. Naturally, they're jamming themselves on the inside of the plate, and they struggle.